Hi, everyone. We're going to be going over our Wednesday assignment, which is answering text based questions. And we're going to be focusing on what our answers should look like and how I want them formatted. And then we're also going to be focusing on citing evidence from the text. So, what you're going to need is you're going to need to pull up your Shrouded in Myth story that we've been working with to answer some questions. So, in Google Classroom, you should see this assignment text based questions, and you have 5 questions that you're going to be working on. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and read our questions first so we know what we're looking for. Number 1 says, what makes Acrisius sure that he will never have a grandson? Why was Zeus so drawn to Danae? How did Zeus get to her? And we need to make sure that we're answering both questions here. Is this a realistic story? Why or why not? How was the prophecy from the beginning of the story fulfilled? And number 5, is Perseus a hero? What evidence supports your opinion? So for this one, it is an opinion question. You can think that he was or was not a hero, but whatever you choose, you need to back up your answer, okay, with evidence, which is what we're going to go over now. So after you've read the questions, you're going to go ahead and reread Shrouded in Myth to find your answers. And this is how we should be answering. So I'm going to do an example with the story, The Three Little Pigs. Okay. It says, in the story, whose house was built the best and why? So with this question, in the story of the Three Little Pigs, we have 3 pigs. They each build a house with different materials. And I need to answer whose house did I think was built the best or the strongest and why. So if I look into my story, the 3 Little Pigs, the first thing I'm going to do in my answer, and the first thing you're going to do when you answer these questions, is restate the question. Okay? So, whose house was built the best and why? I think that the third pig's house was built the best. So, I'm restating the question. Whose house was built the best? I think that the third pig's house was built the best. So, I'm restating here. And then it asks me why. I have to explain why. I think that his house was built the best because the wolf was not able to blow his house down. So here I restated and answered the question. That's the first part that all of our answers need to have. Then I answered why. I think this. So I think this because the wolf was unable to blow his house down. That's the second part of my answer. But then the third part that I need to add is my evidence, okay? And my evidence is going to support my why and my answer. So the third part I need to pull from the story itself. And this is how I'm going to form it. I'm going to say, for example, in the story, it said, I'm going to pull from the text. It said, where was it? That said that he huffed and he puffed, but he could not blow the house down. So I'm going to say, for example, in the story it said that the wolf huffed and puffed, but he could not blow his house down. And it is as simple as that. This is very short and easy because we're using the story of the 3 little pigs, but we need to notice the parts that are in my answer. And these are the parts that you're going to need in all of your answers as well. First part in red, I restated the question and I put my answer. The second part in blue says why. It answers my why. I think that his house was built the best because the wolf was not able to blow his house down. Okay, so I said that he wasn't able to blow his house down, but then I need to have evidence. I need to have proof. of what I am saying. And your proof or your evidence is from the story. Okay. So it says, for example, in the story, it said that the wolf huffed and puffed, but he could not blow his house down. Those are what all of your answers need to have. Restate and put your answer. Then you need to explain and tell me your why. And then you need to show me in the text what supports what you're saying. So, right here is my proof straight from the story. And this is a very important piece that a lot of us kind of forget to put in our answers. So, this is how you need to answer your question. So, if we look at some of our questions here, is this a realistic story? Why or why not? First thing you would do is say, I do think that this is a realistic story, or I do not think this is a realistic story. Restating. I think this because that's my why. And whatever I say, because I think this is realistic because X, Y, and Z happened, then I need to put my evidence and say, for example, in the story, it said this that supports your example of why. Okay. So if you're having trouble with this, please reach out to me. But you do need to have those 3 parts in every single answer that you do. And if you do not have those 3 parts, I will be commenting on your work and sending it back to you. Okay. So go ahead and get started on this. Again, if you have questions, please let me know. 5 questions, but we need to make sure that they have every single part that we went over here. Okay. All right, good luck with your work and have a wonderful day.